What is up, you guys? It's a new week, so you know what that means. It's a new episode. This episode is going to be straight to the point, real quick and sweet, to be honest with you. I'm only talking about the national championship, Michigan versus Washington. Both teams are undefeated. Michigan's ranked number 1. Washington is ranked number 2. And I'm going to give you my predictions of who I think is going to end up winning the Natty. And also kind of some of the challenges I see for both teams facing off against each other. So let's get into it. First off, who I have winning the Natty, I am rolling with the Huskies. I have Washington beating Michigan, and I'm going to tell you why. I think a lot of people are not familiar that Washington's offensive game is very strong. And I think that they present the biggest and most challenges to Michigan that I don't think that defense has seen fully. To me, Washington has a very complete offensive attack. They like their run game almost equally as Michigan likes their run game. That is depending on if Dillon Johnson is healthy. But they like to run the ball a lot because of their running ability. Because he's a strong back. He likes to keep moving his legs. It opens up a lot of things for them. They have about 3 really great wide receivers. You got Rome Odunze, you got Polk, and then you got McMillan. They have 3 offensive weapons that they can kind of spread that thing out with, and also a great running back. The best part of all this, and the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, is that Michael Penix Jr. is an amazing quarterback. He is a pocket passing quarterback. So the question of what I said when Michigan faced Alabama and Jalen Milroe, do you want Jalen Milroe to be a passing quarterback or a running quarterback? And I said your best bet is to make him a pocket passing quarterback because that allows you more things for your defense. Michael Penix Jr. is a pure pocket passing quarterback. He likes to throw those balls in tight windows. He has a big strength in the deep ball, very accurate. He likes those type of plays, right? If you're Michigan, you have to make him very mobile. The crazy thing is, even when Michael Penix Jr. is mobile, he is still looking down the field to throw the ball. They have practiced scramble drill many times, and you could tell that they're very comfortable with that system. So even if Michael Penix Jr. is running out, the play is not dead because he's always looking eyes up. But what we saw against Texas, he started to run a little bit more if they needed those first downs. Even though everyone said, oh, Washington's going to get blown out by Texas, and they were pretty much rudely awakened to the fact that this is a very complete offensive team. On top of that, I do like Washington's defense. I don't know if I like Michigan's defense a little bit better, but I do think Washington has a complete package there too. They have a secondary that is very good. They have an elite corner in Muhammad that they like to really put a lot of faith in on those islands and man-on-man situations. They also have a very good interior defense on that line and in the trenches. So I like Washington. That does not mean that I think Michigan's not going to put up a fight. What I saw against them going with Alabama, I was impressed offensively for sure. I think J.J. McCarthy played to his strengths. The offense had more motions and other things to divert the defense away from really the central focus. They did a lot of crossing routes, a lot of get to the sidelines. They incorporated other people into that offensive scheme that worked for them, and Alabama was not ready. That defense was confused. So if you're Michigan, obviously, you know your bread and butter is Blake Corum. You run the ball down defenses' throats, and you hope that that wears them down. The problem is you're facing a team who also equally likes to run the ball as well and has a very strong back that likes to wear down defenses. Also, you look at their quarterback situation. I like J.J. McCarthy. After that Alabama game, especially in that fourth quarter and in overtime, he understands what he's doing. I don't think defenses speed him up. It's usually if he's just missing a throw or maybe he's going through the progressions a little differently. But against Washington, I do expect that they will try a lot of underneath type of throws, really those 10-yard outs to open up to the deep ball. That's one thing that I don't think Michigan does all the time is the deep ball. I think that they like to build upon it. They understand their identity is that we are a running team that also can throw the ball when need be, which is those crossing routes, those slants, those underneaths. They're not always going for the big play. Whereas Washington, they like the big play. They like to get out there and let's throw it deep. Let's launch this ball and put it in the pocket. Let's put all the pressure on them. So it's going to be interesting to see the differences in both offenses as the game is going and how they're going to have to adjust to each other as the game is going on. I do think Washington has the edge. I think because I don't believe Michigan has faced a lot of teams with at least stable, consistent quarterbacks. Michael Penix Jr. is very consistent to me. I didn't think Jalen Milroe was the most consistent, but I thought his talent and his ability and his evolution would have carried them further. But even he showed problems, right? They gave pressure to him. They attacked him in terms of making him scramble or not being able to go through his progressions quick enough. Michael Penix Jr., on the other hand, gets the ball out really quickly anyway. I think his offensive line is a little bit more steady. But again, blitzing him is going to be interesting because you want to speed him up, but he already plays at a fast speed when he's going through his progressions anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see what Michigan does. I'm not counting Michigan out. You know, we just got to pick somebody. And I'm picking Washington. I'm interested to see what the game plan will be for both teams. I'm actually really excited because I think these two teams actually evenly match up with each other like really well. And I don't know if people know that or not. I think people are thinking, oh, Michigan's just going to wipe the floor with Washington. But again, people thought the same thing when they were going to face Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. Everyone said, oh, Oregon's going to win. And Washington beat them even more than they did. Everyone said, oh, they're not going to stand a chance against Texas. And then they won. Their defense ended up coming up big for them when need be, and their offense. So I'm not into the train of, oh, Michigan, they're next up. They're going to sweep them. Every time they say this about Washington, Washington comes up on top. And I think Washington is playing with a lot of confidence. If Dylan Johnson is healthy, even though he did, I think, re-aggravate that ankle or foot injury that he had, I'm sure that, hey, he's getting all the rest that he needs. I expect him to be ready to go come Monday for that national championship because he adds an entire different dimension to their game. If he's not there, that will be a little difficult for Washington. But again, they very much, to me, evenly match up with Michigan. I understand Michigan's defense is really good. They have a really good secondary. But again, to me, Washington has more than one weapon. Like, you have to cover the entire field with them. And because Michael Penix Jr. to me is very accurate with the deep ball and how he gets it into those pockets and his accuracy and his progressions, I don't think he's just going to be out there throwing the ball all willy-nilly. It's going to be precise throws and exactly where he wants to go. So I'm interested to see what happens. The national championship is going to be so good. Both of these teams at this point deserve it, obviously, if you get to this point. But I'm rolling with the Huskies. All right, you guys, that's it for this week's episode. I told you it was short and sweet and straight to the point. We were just talking national championship. Tell me in the comments who you got winning. Are you rolling with Michigan or are you rolling with Washington? Give me your reasons. What's your strengths and weaknesses that you're seeing from both teams? And again, I will be seeing you guys next week. Thank you all the time for coming to the channel every week, week in and week out. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share on all platforms. Bring somebody new to the channel, and I will be seeing you next week.